One of Stanley Park's top tourist attractions has reopened. Visitors can once again have their pictures taken next to the famous hollow tree. The 1,000-year-old stump was in danger of toppling over, but $100,000 in restoration work saved the tree. All of the money came from private donations.
Today marks the official completion, we're celebrating the official completion of the restoration of the hollow tree. The hollow tree is a 1,000-year-old tree. It's probably the oldest tree in Stanley Park. It's a western red cedar, which is the provincial tree of British Columbia. It's hollow because western red cedars do that. As they get old, they rot from the inside out and not from the outside in, and so it's totally normal. You'll see other hollow cedars around the park when you go walking. It likely stopped growing in 1875, give or take a year. So it stopped growing just when the first Europeans came to Vancouver. In any event, in 2007, Park Board staff noticed that the tree was leaning over precipitously, somewhere between 12 and 14 degrees. And it was indeed in danger of collapse. And Park Board, in March of 2008, unanimously approved taking down the tree. So we objectors appealed to the public, and we appealed to Park Board to please reconsider their decision. We organized ourselves as the Stanley Park Hollow Tree Conservation Society, and in the fall of 2008, the elected park commissioners had the courage to reverse their decision and to give our society an opportunity to straighten the tree, stabilize it, and keep it for generations to come. And all this was done with generous donations of money, of materials, and of time, from ordinary citizens, from professionals, from trades, you name it, and they're all named here on this panel.
Just go quick. Thank God that was Bruce who did that, not me.
Many of those donors are here today, and as I said, we thank you now, and we're going to thank you again. When the tree was completed, Park Board agreed to assume the cost of landscaping and of interpretation. And so you see the parking lot's been improved, this brand new curb, there's drainage underneath. All the landscaping you see is new. There's a young western red cedar there, and it will in time eclipse this hollow tree, and it will become the main tree around the circle. The Park Board also agreed to take on the long-term maintenance work on the tree. In terms of today, I'd like to thank Lauren Finley, who's the gentleman back here with the cap on, who's the owner of this wonderful car, a 1927 Auburn, which was photographed in the tree in 1927.
Wow!
So Lauren has brought it. Lauren's wife is sitting in the front seat. And I'd like to introduce to you the chair of the Park Board of the Vancouver Board of Parks and Recreation, Aaron Jasper.
Thank you very much. Actually, I would also like to acknowledge Commissioner Ian Robertson, who's with me here today. He was former chair of the Park Board before I was elected, so good to have you here, Ian. As stated earlier, this hollow tree has attracted visitors and dignitaries right from the early days. And for many, many years, I was a tour guide based here in Vancouver, and I can tell you that I had people from all around the world on my tour bus, and everybody knew about this hollow tree. In fact, I used to bring my 45-foot-long bus through this little parking lot here, and everyone wanted that photograph to get off and take a photograph of the tree. So it is known around the world and by generations of Vancouverites, to be sure.
So thanks to the Parks Board for putting up these interpretive panels, which I'll just point out that the reason why the white people came here in the first place was because of these giant trees. And most of you realize that they're pretty well all gone, except for this is probably the only one you even know about. So this is a heavily engineered structure. And again, it's sort of invisible, but I'd just like to point out that we spent a year or two putting in, I guess, what was it, 1.5 feet of concrete slab underneath the tree there, probably a ton of rebar in that. And then as Hal mentioned, a couple of dozen steel and concrete piles going down 20-odd feet into the ground. So it's actually a pretty big structure underground. And then of course you've got Julian Dunster installed all this steel work that is actually holding up the tree above the ground. And there's steel up at the top, And we also did a really good job in that we put a steel cap on the top to protect the tree from rotting from the top down.
Oh, and there's that. This is the other one. Okay. We'll go over and put this when we get home.
Smile, G. Yeah. Here, G, buddy. Here. Don't.
Get a picture of it.
Oh, if he wants to walk around it. Okay, go.
See, that's why we built a fence so they wouldn't go out in the road.
See? Good thinking.
Yeah.
No.
Worked out really nice.
Well done.